Hello and welcome to Route 99. My name is Raj Thakkar, and in this video, we are solving the 21st sheet of our daily practice material. Here we have a few verbal ability questions, which consist of para-jumble, para-summary and para-completion type question. Here we have the first two para-jumble question, where we are given four sentences and we need to order them in a way that it would yield a coherent paragraph. Right, let's read these sentences one by one. Okay, so the first sentence goes like this. We reached out to one of our esteemed image manipulators and asked her to help our audience channel their Darth. Here this Darth is a reference to the famous Star Wars character Darth Vader. Okay, so this seems like something which has came up abruptly. There is no connection there's no connection between, like, this cannot be an introductory statement. That's what I'm saying. Everyone wants to be a Jedi Master or Sith Lord, or if you're a Trekkie, an alien space magician or whatever. Okay, this could be a good introductory statement. Everyone wants to be something, and we reached our esteemed image manipulator and asked her to help our audience channel their Darth. Means to become that, right? When you're ruling the planet, don't forget about us. Okay, so this seems like they've already made them the Darth Vader. They have already helped their audience become the Darth they wanted to become. So this has to come after one. So this is also not my introductory statement. Well, we are here to help with that. Help with what? Help with becoming whatever you want to become. Okay. This cannot beat, this cannot beat, so we'll only left with 2. So 4 and 2 has to come together, and the order 2 and 4. Why? Everyone wants to become something, and well, we are here to help with that. So what we did, we reached out to one of our esteemed image manipulators and asked her to help our audience channel their Darth. So it has to follow one, and then third, when you have become the Darth, when you are ruling the planet, don't forget about us, that we help you become so. So my correct order is 2, 4, 1, 3. Okay, moving on. Here, in hopes that a bit of foreknowledge may make a dent in the death rate, are the top 10 reasons small businesses fail. Okay. So there is no connection. This also seems like something which has came up abruptly. So this is not what I'm starting my paragraph with. And no matter what the cause, it's never funny. What's never funny? Apologies to that expiring thespian, but watching a small business die is never easy. That thespian, who is this thespian? Watching a small business die is never easy. If for no other reason that it can happen in so many different ways. Okay, so whoever was that, with all the due apologies to him, it is never easy to die. It is never easy to see a business die, small business die. Why? Because maybe not for any other reason, but in the plethora of reason it can die in. Right? An English actor on his deathbed once muttered, "Dying is easy, comedy is hard." Okay, now see, there's a connection between 4 and 3. So he said something with apologies to him. I want to say something that it's never easy to die, it's never easy to see a business die. Maybe comedy is hard and dying is easy, but it is not easy to see a business die. So 4 is followed by 3, and no matter the cause, it's never funny. I have the choice between 1 and 2. I need to place either 1 or 2 after this. I cannot play 1 after this. So here, in hopes that a bit of foreknowledge may make a dent in the death rate. Okay, if I would put that here, where would I put the second one? Because it has to follow with the quote, then this, and no matter what, no matter the cause the third sentence says there are many ways a business dies, and the second sentence says that no matter how it dies, it's never funny. So 3 has to follow 2. And lastly, we're left with 1. So my final order is 4, 3, 2, 1. Moving on. This is an odd one out question. The 2 questions that follows are odd one out question. Right? We need to pick the sentence which does not fit the order. She, me, you bought the deluxe CD set for your sister. Okay, he, did you really spend $200 on dad's cashmere sweater? Okay, so this seems like a dialogue which has erupted from some conversation. So none of these could be my introductory statement. The visa bill has landed, and those holiday spending blunders have come back to haunt you like the ghost of Christmas past. Okay, this seems like a good introductory statement. After which this conversation started, right? These blunders you made on holiday spending, these are the examples of those blunders. Okay, so 3 has to be my introductory statement. So the blunders of Christmas past has arrived. So you take it out on each other. You started blaming each other. This has to follow 5, and these are the blaming incidents. He is blaming him, and she is blaming. She is blaming him, and he is blaming her. So these two has to follow in any order, 2 1 or 1 2. Right? Let's not go with that. But we have found our odd sentence, which was the purpose of this question. Right? So fourth is my odd sentence. Fourth is my correct option. Okay, this is again a odd one out question. Herzl understood that his political goal needed an organization. Okay, so in 1987 he gathered about 250 followers at the first Zionist Congress. So the direct connection between first and two, but that could be a better sentence. Let's just keep it. So what we could understand so far was that someone named Herzl understood that his political goal needed an organization. He needed to organize his efforts, right? So what he did, he in 1987 gathered about 250 followers at the Zionist Congress. It opened in Basel, Switzerland on August 29, 1897 and launched the world's Zionist organization. What opened? This Zionist Congress must have opened, because of which the World Zionist Organization, after which the World Zionist Organization was formed. So this has to follow this. So 1, 2 and 3 are connected to each other and in this order. Now in 2017 we have the privilege to witness how Herzl's vision became a reality. This also fits very well. Fourth couldn't be, let's just read fifth. Herzl judged the first Zionist Congress a success as evidence in his entry the day the Congress closed, September 3rd, 1897. But if you see here, between 4 and 5, 5 is a more closed sentence. Whereas 4th talks about the future of it, 5th sentence talks about the immediate effect after this meeting. That after this meeting, the meeting was termed as a success. Why? Because maybe it was somewhere found in his diary. So 5th over 5 is a more specific sentence and hence has to fit the order. And thus 4 comes out to be our odd sentence. Okay, this is a para summary question. Let's just read the paragraph and find its correct summary. Scott Adams, seeing different flaw in Peter principle, proposed the Dilbert principle. So someone named Scott Adams found some errors in Peter principle, and he proposed what? He proposed Dilbert principle. What is Dilbert principle? That companies tend to systematically promote their least competent employees to middle management to limit damage they can do. This again is untrue. Okay, so someone named Scott Adams had problem with Peter principle, so he proposed Dilbert principle. Dilbert principle says that companies systematically promote the least competent employees to middle management. Why they do so? So that they can limit the damage they can do with the local level. This again is untrue. This is also untrue. What is author saying now? The Jervis principle predicts the exact opposite. But there is some Jervis principle which says something opposite to it. What is this principle saying? That the company promote incompetent or least competent employees to middle management. So its opposite would be that it does not do that. What does Jervis principle says? That the most competent ones will be promoted to middle management. Okay. On the contrary, this principle says that the most competent people would be promoted to middle management. Michael Scott was a star salesman before he became a clueless middle management. So see, Michael Scott was a very competent performer and he was promoted to a middle manager and he became clueless. The least competent employees, but not all of them, only certain enlightened incompetent will be promoted not to middle management but fast track through to senior management. So of course the principal also acknowledged that some incompetent employees, not all of them, but some are fast tracked not only to middle management but to senior management, but only a few enlightened ones, not all of them, to the sociopath level. And in case you're wondering, the unlightened underperformers get fired. So if you are just wondering that what happens to the people who are not so enlightened and are not so competent as well, what happened to them? They get fired. Okay. As opposed to Dilbert principle, the Jarvis principle says that incompetent will be promoted to the middle management. No. The Jarvis principle clearly says that the competent will be promoted to the middle management, and this is not opposed to Dilbert principle. The Dilbert principle itself says that incompetent people would be. See what it's saying. Dilbert principle says that the least competent employees will be promoted to middle management. So this is of course not my answer. As opposed to Dilbert principle, Jarvis principle says that incompetent will be fired. Okay, correct. But the competent will be promoted to middle management and eventually to the senior management level. So this seems quite true, but it says that it eventually to the senior level management. No, the principle says that a certain incompetent employees would be directly fast tracked through senior management, right? And the competent would be promoted to middle management, right? Not the least competent although. So this is also wrong. As opposed to Dilbert principle, the Jarvis principle says that the competent will be promoted to middle management, but some incompetent will be promoted to senior management levels while others will be fired. So this precisely sums up everything said in the passage. Opposed to Dilbert principle, the Jarvis principle says that competent will be promoted to middle management. Yes, true. And some incompetent will be promoted to senior management, and others who are not so enlightened, not so competent will be fired. So this pretty much sums up everything said in the passage. As per Scott Adams, as opposed to the Dilbert principle, the Jarvis principle says that incompetent will be promoted to the middle level management. No, this is not what the Jarvis principle is saying. So this is again also wrong. So my correct option is option number 3. So that was the video guys. I'll see you in the next one.